Jacob FRENKEL, many thanks for coming to WPC TV. You are a former governor of the Bank of Israel and you're now very distinguished chairman of JP Morgan Chase International.
My pleasure.
Are in Europe. Now, is the euro crisis genuinely over?
Well, to begin with, obviously, people feel now better than what they felt when we met last, and this was a couple of years ago. The feeling is that the bottomless situation has been resolved, that a financial crisis that will bring to a massive meltdown is over. But I would say that while I am optimistic, we should not be sanguine. And the reason is that there are still quite a few challenges, and they are primarily in the structural area. You know, up to now, much of the work has been done by the central bank, the European Central Bank, and it has indeed reintroduced some confidence, liquidity and the like. But that's supposed to be not the solution. It is just the bridge towards the solution. If you look today, in the Eurozone, there is still a very great diversity. On the one hand, you have, say, Spain or Greece with unemployment rate of 26% or more, and the young generation is even deeply and deeper in unemployment. On the other hand, you have Germany with unemployment rate of 6.9. That's a range which is putting great stress on a zone that has to have harmonized policies. Yeah. If you have harmonized monetary policy and you are part of the same zone, you better have similar range of challenges if you are going to exist. Europe has competitive issue which is diverse again. Yeah. On the one hand, Italy has lost significant degree of its competitiveness vis-a-vis to Germany. So there is still a lot of structural matters. Banking union, there is a lot of talk about banking union, single supervisor. Some progress is being made there, but nothing is over until it's over.
Would that be a sticking plaster rather than a real cure? Because it seems to me that given the divergences, it's pie in the sky to think that the internal devaluations that would need to happen in Greece, for example, or Portugal or Spain, are really in the end socially sustainable, politically sustainable.
Well, indeed.
Or am I being too pessimistic?
No, you are politically realistic, because if you look at most of the Eurozone countries that went through elections, look how many leaders have lost their position. In other words, austerity is never a political asset, even though occasionally it is an economic necessity. So my worry is that politicians who saw what has happened to their counterparts may lose their appetite to do the right things. But let's face it, the euro and the Eurozone is a train that has left the station. The discussion of dismantling is now being replaced by a discussion about how to make it work. It will take some time, but also Europe will not be a monolithic group of countries. Diversity will prevail, and the challenge will be how to make sure that they coexist with each other. Here, the external environment is important. With the recovery of the US, and the US is recovering, and with the normalization in some other parts of the world, I think that the external environment facing Europe will be more positive. Look today, for example, you know, more than 20% of European exports goes to China. This was not the case a decade ago. In other words, entrepreneurs have been able to seize on new opportunities. The issue is that income inequality has become very, very large. And the unemployment problem and the income inequality problem are political dynamite. They need to be addressed, and they need to be addressed in the right things. It doesn't help to have equality of misery. So you really need to have equality in the benefits from economic growth. Therefore, whatever you do, you should make sure not to destroy the incentive systems to save, to invest, to educate, because that's where you will have the growth. You need to have a larger pie if you want to have more for everyone.
We shall keep our fingers crossed. But we're on day one of this conference. What are you expecting from it, and what would you like to get from it?
Well, it is a conference that really has great diversity in it. Of course, we start with an economic session about the state of the world and about challenges and the like. Then we go to geopolitical sessions about the Middle East. Then we go to cyber. In other words, it is not a narrow conference, but it's a conference about the world policy. And it is appropriate because today there is no foreign policy without economic policy. There is no economic policy without international relations. So it is appropriate, as the organizers have recognized, that this conference brings together people from diverse political systems, diverse occupational systems, diverse languages, because we are all in the same boat.
Jacob Frenkel, thank you very much for being with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.